Good morning, my name is Karen Kong and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and welcome to my Crafting to Go series. Today is the last day of my Woodland Wishes Crafting to Go series, and this is the card we are making. So I pulled out a whole bunch of more retired stuff. I don't know if you guys love that or not, but I love using my stash because we all know that we are hoarding a whole bunch of beautiful paper and pretty things, and they really need to be used. So I pulled out a bunch of retired things that I thought would work well with this set, and hopefully it'll inspire you to do the same. So I'm just going to get my computer set up. I would love it if you join in the conversation, say hi, comment on the replay if you're watching on the replay, ask me questions, because it is way more fun to craft together, and hopefully I'll be able to see all your comments during the live, because we've had some issues with Facebook not displaying comments as my live goes on. Okay, good morning, Tara. Thanks for joining me. Just gonna get this going. I have not finished my coffee, and I'm going to hope that my brain is not on the fritz. Okay, so let me get switched over to my desktop so that you can see what we're doing, and just close your eyes while I remount my camera. Okay. There we go. Okay, so here's our card today. Does anybody recognize that paper? This paper is from the Lights Aglow DSP. That was from a couple years ago, last year? I can't remember which year it was, but in the last couple years. So that was from the Lights Aglow, and I thought it looked like a starry sky, and I pulled it together with the Charming Landscapes embossing folder. So I don't know if you can see, but there's embossing in there for snowy mountains in the background, and then some gold. Oh gosh, I forgot what this one is. I guess it's just gold metallic specialty paper, another retired product. But you can always substitute these things for whatever you have in your stash. I cut this circle using the Spotlight on Nature dies. So I used this one with like kind of the dash and dots die cuts in there. And yeah, Tara, I'm pretty sure you have this paper. You probably do. And for the second card, I'm going to play with using the a slightly different pattern, same size circle, but with the, I don't know what kind of edging you want to call this, but it's got like the vertical lines etched into it. It's from the same set. Okay, just to see how it looks. So yeah, pretty simple card today, and then I used that outline technique on my animals. I really like how that looks, and I'm back to using wild wheat. So yeah, so that is all we are using. And if you have placed a qualifying order for this month, then I will send you all the pieces for all 4 cards to make them on your own. So you'll need the stamp set. There's no dies included with this, but here's the rest of the cards if you missed them. This was the first one I made. Same color scheme. I really love the wild wheat for this particular stamp set. I think it goes so well with the animals, and it's like this gold kind of color, so I think it works well with the cherry cobbler. And then this was I think this was last week's card, or I can't remember. But it's a fun fold, super fun. I really like how this one turned out. And then this is the third card, okay? And then there's this card this week. So let's get going on making the card this week. Super easy, it's not hard. So if you remember, the Lights Aglow DSP was a 6x6 DSP. So in order to maximize my usage, I did not use the full 6x6 to cut the full background of this because I knew it would be hidden. So I cut half of it. I used 3 inches, and so that gives me this piece, okay? And so that gives me a little bit of a gap here, but that's okay because it's all going to be covered by our snowy mountains, okay? So I cut the gold piece to be 3/4 of an inch high, and so there's a gap, but it will be covered by our mountains. So don't worry about writing down the measurements. I always put the measurements and all the details in the description if you want to try to recreate this card with your own stash. Yeah, so in order to maximize our DSP, I used half a sheet so that I could make 2 cards out of it instead of 1, okay? And what I have to do now is I did emboss this with the Charming Landscapes folder, and I'm just going to cut out the mountains. I'm just going to fussy cut along the edge of the mountains so that we can see our starry sky background, okay? So let's just move these out of the way, and we'll bring in my scissors. And I mean, these are fairly straight lines, so it's pretty easy. I'm just gonna follow along. And fussy cut these out. It's just a little trickier because of the lighting here, and because it is white paper. And I want to stay on camera. So this will be the last live I'll be doing until September, because school lets out tomorrow. It's the last day of school tomorrow for my daughter, and she'll be home, and I'll be busy taking her places, and we have family visiting and such, and so things will be busy. You know, like you'd think, like you always think, oh, summer's gonna be when we can relax, things are gonna calm down. And I always think that, and then somehow because she's home and we're traveling or whatever, it's always turns out to be busier somehow. I don't know. But I'm hoping to get some personal projects done this summer, maybe with her help, and still squeeze in some crafting time because I do have the Woodland Wishes in-person class for those of you who are in town, and a Christmas class as well with the upcoming poinsettias that are being released next week, actually, I think. Beginning of July. Can't remember the exact date, but that's coming. And then there'll be a fun trip to Paris. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, almost done here. So I'm curious, who gets crafting done more in the winter versus in the summer? Because I don't know, like, you know, summer vacation, like people take time off. Do you spend it doing crafting, or are you out in the garden and enjoying the outdoors? Yeah, like I said, I'm always under the impression, you know, that we have more time during the summer, but somehow it never happens. All right, so super easy. We're going to just assemble this by gluing this on in layers. Okay, so we'll start with the starry sky. Let me put this aside. I'm just gonna put some glue on this. Oh, Tara, your kids are out of school right now, so you're not tied to their schedule anymore, right? And they're more independent. They don't need rides. They just need to borrow the car. Yeah. All right. So I'm just putting this up against the edge of the fold. And then this I will put down at the bottom. Okay. All right. And this is just going to go right on top. So I'm going to leave maybe a 1/2 inch showing of my gold and make sure that my DSP is like I'm focusing on this little dip here and making sure that it does not go below the edge of the DSP here, right? So that's the point, to cover up this gap, and it's not a problem. Oops, I just touched this underneath. Okay, so I'm just going to move that up, and that is the beauty of using glue, because then I could see it was a little bit too low and I could just nudge it up a little bit because the glue is not dry, and it's I'm not fully committed until it dries, so that's perfect. Okay, so if you've worked with vellum before, this vellum piece that I've die cut, you have to be careful with where you put your adhesive to adhere this vellum piece to the card, because you don't want the glue or the stamp and seal to show underneath, and it will show through. The only case where it doesn't happen is if this is fully on a white piece, but this is not on white, it's going to be on the DSP, it's going to be here, so you don't want any adhesive on the back showing through. And the way you're going to do that is that you're going to put the adhesive behind these pieces. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to adhere these guys on top of this, and then afterwards I will put the adhesive to adhere this whole circle onto the card base behind everything else. Okay, so I'm going to bring my silicone mat here, just in case I have any adhesive coming off the edges. It'll stop my desktop from being all sticky. Oh, I have to do some stamping. Almost forgot. Okay, so let's get some stamping first. I got everything else prepared and then I forgot that I had to have some stamped pieces. All right, let's grab a block, and I'm going to get the stamp set. We'll get the deer. Yeah, you could use some other mountains in your stash, for sure. But you'll get this in your kit when you get this kit. So you can have one that's made as is, and then you can find something in your stash that works to make more cards. Okay, so let's bring in some ink. Yes, I know. There's not a huge amount of stamping on this card, is there? Yeah, that's why I almost forgot about it. Okay, and oops, And I need, oh, my fox is over here. Stamp him too. And we're going to outline them. I really like how these animals look when they're outlined. It just gives them a little pop. I'm going to use the light wild wheat for this, and I'm going to use the small tip for this. And we're just going to edge just around all the outside. I find it easiest for me, because I'm right-handed, to go from left to right, so then I can keep the edge of the image above the tip of my pen, and I can control how close I go to it, because if I do it the other way, I won't be able to see the edge of the image as easily, and then I accidentally go over the lines. Blend that so that you can't see any lines. There we go. All right, so let's do this one. Oh, I wonder if I have some black. I'm just seeing some black here. I'm just going to check my hands to make sure I don't have black on it. I don't know how that got on there. Okay. I find this to be a very relaxing kind of activity, because it doesn't require too much thought, but it does require you to concentrate. And I wouldn't worry so much about the outside edge of your outline being perfect. And of course the phone rings when I am on live. That's weird. Because that's Murphy's Law, because we never get phone calls usually. And it's Murphy's Law that they only call while I'm on a Facebook Live. Actually, you know what's going to happen next? I'll bet you, because I don't know why the school is calling, but I am hoping that it's something not urgent. But usually when it's an automated service, it will call both the home phone and our cell phone. So just wait. They're going to call my cell phone while I'm live too. Murphy's Law. Okay. Alright, see? I knew it. That automated surface is calling my phone. Alright, I think I should finish this up fairly quickly and then I'll have to go see what this is about. So let's cut this out. And I really should put my phone on Do Not Disturb, I guess. I always forget because I'm telling you, like, nobody ever usually calls. Everybody texts these days, right? So I'm just going to cut that part off. It'll make it easier to finish the fussy cutting instead of hanging on to that large piece. If you ever have troubles like trying to get around with all the excess paper, I would suggest just cutting it off so that it's easier to manage a small piece than a large one. There. And I'm sorry I can't see your messages until I put my glasses back on. If you're commenting on the side there, I take my glasses off when I'm fussy cutting and coloring because it's easier for me to get a better look at what I'm doing. And it's funny because I know some people actually had to put their glasses, like special reading glasses or whatever, on to see up close. But for me, I need to take my glasses off to see better up close. All right, so there's our two little characters. Yeah, so Tara, I don't know why they're calling because my daughter is in school. I don't know why they would be calling. And because I know it's an automated service calling, I don't think it's like anything, there's an emergency, because I would feel like that wouldn't be an automated service calling. So, but it is kind of strange because I know that she's at school. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna position these like this, right? So let's put some Stamp and Seal on this. And I do it on the silicone mat because that allows me to get the Stamp and Seal right to the edge and not have it stick to my work surface. And that's going to allow me to get this fully sticky on the back. Okay. And I just kind of drag the excess back onto the paper so that it doesn't show. All right, so there's one. And I know this is where I want my paper to go, so I'm going to position the deer here. Actually, a little farther up. There we go. Okay, and now I'll do the fox. Oh, and I need to stamp my sentiment. All right, so I'm gonna get a piece of paper to capture my excess powder. Let's bring in a Versamark, and I need the sentiment. Which is sending love. Oh, it's down here. So with sentiments, I like to place them on the surface of my working table, and that way I don't have any warping in the alignment of the sentiment, and I'll pick it up with my block this way. That's how I make sure it's straight. And I'll be stamping this piece. Oh, and I do have my embossing buddy. I should brush that first. So this little pillow here, it looks like a little pillow. You just brush it on the top of your paper to remove the static so that you don't get stray grains of embossing powder in spots that you don't want it to stick, so that you get a nice clear image when you heat emboss. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. You know what? I'm going to leave that for now, but what I did with this sentiment is I actually only inked up sending love this Christmas. I left off the joy because I wanted the shape to be like this. I didn't want the extra length on the left side, but let's see how it looks. We'll see how this turns out. I think it's fun actually doing a variation for the live card, because you have all the knowledge to make the original card, and then we can see like some slight differences and see which one's better, because sometimes it turns out better. I think I need a little bit more in the S, so I'm just gonna, there we go. I'm just going to tap it to remove the excess. I have a few here that are sticking that I don't want. All right. Just going to dump this back in before it goes everywhere. And I'm going to grab my heat gun. It's going to be noisy for a little bit, so bear with me. I do like to let it heat up a little bit before I actually start blowing at the paper, because I don't want to burn my paper. And that has happened before, so I try not to let it heat up against my paper. There we go. I think it's magic when the embossing powder melts like that. Okay, let's trim this down. I'm going to use my paper trimmer. Let's make a little bit of room here. And we'll trim off the excess on the bottom. And let's see how this looks. Because I felt like it would have been too long to have the full sentiment. Yeah, I feel like it's too long. So what I'm going to do, I'm just thinking, maybe I'll fussy cut this one out and we'll see how it turns out. Okay. And I'm going to cut off the words and joy to make it shorter. Yeah, it's debatable if it's less work, Tara, because now I'm fussy cutting, whereas the other way I was like just carefully inking to skip the extra words that I didn't want, but it's not terrible. So for those of you who don't like fussy cutting, then I think the other way would be the way to go, to just omit it when you ink up the stamp. All right, it will be a different look, but I'm sure it'll be just as nice. And this is the reality crafting part. Yeah, I think that'll look nice too. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I'm just going to put adhesive behind here because I still need to lift up this whole thing to apply the adhesive on the back. So I'm just going to put adhesive on the right side here. Just looking for my silicone mat. And I'm just going to put it on this side. I'll put more on afterwards, and when I'm flipping the whole thing over. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so now I'm going to take this and flip it over, and I'm going to put adhesive only behind the spots where I have a character or some other piece of paper, and then you won't be able to see it on the card. Okay, I'm going to turn it this way. And we'll put some on the back here to make sure it stays down as well. Okay, so here we go. All right, so now all I have to do is put on some gems. These are one of my favorite gems here because they seem to just go with everything. It's a clear with gold flecks in it, the iridescent foil gems. And you can see I've used them a lot already because look how many are gone. I still have more, luckily. I think those were on clearance. I don't know if there's any left, but I do love these. Let's do this. So when I put down my gems, I don't press them on yet because sometimes I change my mind about where I want them placed. So I don't press them down. I just put them down in place and then I decide if I like the way it looks, because then I can actually still pick these up and move them around. So yeah, I think that looks good. So now I will press them down to make sure they're adhered. And that is the card today. Easy peasy. I hope that inspires you to pull out your stash and make something with it and combine it with the new Woodland Wishes. And that is it for me until the end of summer. I'll be back in September and we'll see what we're going to create then. I'm sure there'll be new products out then too. And I'm looking forward to it. But for now, everybody have a fantastic summer and keep crafting, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.